For this video, we're going to expose some of these people who are known as police auditors, also known as police frauditors to some. And what I've come to realize is it's very obvious that many of these people, most of them in fact, are just operatives who really work in coordination with the police, and many of these interactions, supposed interactions that they have, are just staged. One recurring pattern that you can notice if you watch enough of the videos of these characters that are supposedly claiming to stand up for people's rights and whatnot, is that many of them seem to have these intentionally contrived, obnoxious personalities. And that is by design. That is so that when they have these interactions with the police will come off as very calm most of the time, very in control. It is meant to make the people who record the police seem unbalanced and unstable, because that's the type of thing that they want to put out there. That's the type of image that they want to present, and it is all about covering up the real corruption within the police. So to do that, as they always do, they're going to use their own operatives to deceive people. And that's what most of these frauditors really are. Now, there's some of them that are a little bit more, act a little bit more professional than others, but most of them have these intentionally obnoxious personalities. And it's pretty clear in many cases that a lot of these interactions are actually staged. So let's just take a look at this at the beginning here. This is a clip from Flint Truth's channel. And what he's showing here is a clip that was previously released by another individual, again, RV Truth, Russian Vids, who of course is an agent, but who sometimes puts out some, some real truth. And so this is a clip where it clearly shows that a police frauditor gets called out on actually being a Freemason by a cop, who asks him, are you a Mason? And can I see that tattoo that you have? And of course, the frauditor tries to play it off and tries to ignore it or whatever. But really, he actually has a Freemason tattoo, the police frauditor. So let's just take a look at this here. Flint Truth does a good job of exposing this stuff. And I agree with him completely with what he says.
These frauditors, these auditors, and all these people with these YouTube channels, that, claim that they're doing the right thing, they're standing up for your rights, and they're going against the corruption in government, and this, that, and the other, when in reality, they're nothing more than paid actors, paid gatekeepers, selected. Most of them are former military, former government workers, all connected to the fraternities and secret societies. They're allowed to join orders and degrees that that aren't even known about to a lot of the other Freemasons. So this video is going to be about News Now Patrick. This is an old video. It's about 5.
And this is, just to cut in here, this News Now Patrick is one of these police frauditors who poses like he's trying to present this image that he's some person who's standing up for people's rights, and he has these staged, contrived interactions with the police, most of whom are also Masons, just like most of the frauditors are themselves.
5 or 6 years old. I could not find the Russian Vids video on it because he actually did a really good job doing that, and he don't mind if you re-upload some of the things that he says or does. Now, yes, Russian Viz is one of the Shills too, unfortunately. That's why he was allowed to get the position that he was given. He was given the information that he was given to disseminate. But I remember this video about 6-7 years ago. He came out and he was exposing these auditors, saying how they're not who people think they are, and to be careful and not put your trust in them, and to just have reservations when you're watching these people, and all that type of stuff, right? Don't be sending your money to these people. The same type of thing, which we exposed with like the Brian Denlingers, the false preachers, the Kent Hovens, the Prophecy Club,
Let's get over there.
There's still, lackluster, and
We're not trying to see any
videos, and it's going to leave no doubt. They're Masons, but I'm going to play these 2 videos, and it's going to leave no doubt.
There's some information we can get you.
we're not trying to see anyone's information. We're not trying to see anyone's.
Are you still a Mason? And you see how he tried to brush past the question. Look at the cop. Are you still a Mason?
Information. We're just anything that we can
But
see.
you understand the possibility.
I understand what you're saying, but
This is the cop asking the frauditor if he's a Mason, and the frauditor tries to just avoid the question, because obviously the cop knew from before that he was one. And he even has a Freemason tattoo, this Frauditor.
We're not here for that. We're not trying to see. We're not here to see anyone's information.
Are you still a Mason?
I'm not sure.
You ask him 3 or 4 times, and you hear Patrick say, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." He knows exactly what he's talking about. He's a Freemason, and that's why these guys are allowed to get these selected audiences. That's why they're allowed to get, these followings. It's because they're all a part of it, okay? These Brian Denlingers, these News Now Patricks, these YouTube channels, these Russian vids. Okay.
And just to cut in here, that's why they act extremely annoying, because to sum it all up, it's all just a big act. They're told to act annoying in order to make the police seem calm, cool, and collected. And this is to take some of the heat off the police as their corruption becomes more and more obvious in real life. These people are put out there as stooges to act crazy and act obnoxious to make the police corruption look like it isn't as bad as it really is. So Flint Truth is 100% correct in his assessment here as well.
Okay.
And he's also correct in most of these people with Shills, including RV Truth, Russian Vids. But again, like Flint Truth said, Russian Vids does put out a lot of legitimate truth as well. So his stuff is sometimes worth watching.
Real truthers don't get views. They get 100 views, maybe 200 views.
Exactly.
Because the algorithm blocks the truth from really getting out. Okay? People like Brian Denlinger and all these people, they get thousands and thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views a day. Okay? The world is a stage, okay? And the people that own and control the purse strings and control this world, nothing happens by chance, okay? They own and control the stages, whether that's YouTube, whether that's TV, whether it's acting for a movie, whether that's singing, whether that's politics.
And let me just go one step further here and say that most of what you see on YouTube is actually acting like what you'd see on TV. Even sometimes when they try to make it look realistic, like some of these police interactions, essentially at the end of the day, it's just acting. And they always control the narrative, no pun intended with regards to my name, which is about that. That's what my name's about, is about media manipulation. It's a reference to that. They will always use their own people to discredit any opposition by having these people act crazy, act unbalanced. It's exactly the same thing they do with the quote-unquote targeted individual communities, that all of which they have set up, which are fake communities filled with people who are paid to intentionally act crazy and unbalanced to discredit the real people they're targeting. No different with the Frauditor community. In fact, I'd go so far as to say almost all of the Frauditors are 100% agents, and many of them Masons. You might have a few real TIs out there online. With the Frauditors, I don't see any of them at all. I think almost all of them are controlled, unless they have like really, really small followings, and most of them don't. So if you look at them, you'll see a recurring pattern of these people, these Frauditors, intentionally acting obnoxious, abrasive, annoying, using excessive amounts of profanity, behaving in a childish manner. This is all to make the police look like they're handling things professionally and to take some heat off the police, who in reality are corrupt beyond description all throughout Canada and the United States and other places as well. And that is because Freemasonry has fully infiltrated the police, just like so many other institutions.
The people who control this world and the fraternities and the secret societies who own this, they're the ones that are in control. And they don't let you come onto their, into their space and let you get big unless you sell out. You have to sell out. People need to understand, if you want to make it to the top in this world, you have to sell out.
Okay, let's get on with the interaction here. Where is the part where he says about the tattoo? Let's get on. Okay, here.
Or the devil.
We're not here to see anyone's information.
Are you still a Mason?
I'm not sure.
Again, he asked him, "Are you still a Mason?" To the auditor. The police officer asked the Frauditor. So he obviously knows from before that the guy is a Mason. Maybe he's seen him at one of the lodges or something like that. And so he asks him, "Are you still a Mason?"
Where?
Do you have the tattoo? He says to him. The cop says to the Frauditor.
I'm seeing tattoo. No, I'd rather not.
Yeah, he'd rather not. I wonder why. And then apparently, shortly thereafter, this Frauditor, someone else uploaded the video. He didn't want it put up for obvious reasons, but it still got out there.
Anything that I can see, I'm allowed to film.
Absolutely.
Anything.
So, real quick, I'm going to pause this video, guys, and then I'm going to bring another video to show you guys that it wasn't just like in one video that he was called out and asked if he was a Mason by these troopers. Here's another video totally separate time by totally different officers on a totally different day at a totally different place that are going to say, hey, are you a Freemason? I see your Freemason tattoo. And I'm going to play that right now. Alright, I'm going to play this next video.
Because I saw your hostility with this officer. No, because she put her hands on me. I said, don't touch me, don't touch me. I can say that as a citizen. I have that right. I'm my own person, okay?
Are you a Mason?
I'm my own person.
And you watch right where his eyes go to. Again, it's his right arm underneath.
Because I saw your hostility with this officer. No, because she put her hands on me. I said, don't touch me, don't touch me. I can say that as a citizen. I have that right. I'm my own person, okay?
Are you a Mason?
I'm my own person. I have my own power with myself, okay?
Everybody does.
Notice how he completely avoids the question for obvious reasons. Again,
I asked her, am I being detained? She said no. I said, okay, that's fine. I'm not being detained. I walked away.
A good place to head out of here.
Okay? Okay? I didn't come in from...
Alright, let's replay that one more time. And it just so happens to be 22 seconds, whoever uploaded the video. Yeah.
Hostility with this officer.
No, because she put her hands on me. I said, don't touch me, don't touch me. I can say that as a citizen. I have that right. I'm my own person, okay?
Are you a Mason?
I'm my own person. I have my own power with myself, okay?
Everybody does.
So again, another video where another cop says, are you a Mason? Looking at his arm, he could see the tattoo. So again, guys, I'm not going to make this video very long.
so he has a clearly visible tattoo, indicate a Freemasonic tattoo. The Frauditor does. And that's 2 cops who have commented on that. So again, it's pretty obvious who those people really are. Again, that's just one example, but if you look at all the others out there, you can pretty quickly pick up on the symbolism and even some of the names that they specifically choose. And you can pick up on this stuff. Let's take a look at a few more examples of how these Frauditors are basically set up to stage these interactions in order to make the extremely corrupt police seem as if they're not so corrupt as they are, and to cover up basically the corruption by acting, making the police seem calm and collected, while these people, who are just actors, act intentionally in an unstable, abrasive, obnoxious manner. And we'll take a look at that here. So this guy here is very obvious here. Where is the one here? Okay. So this guy here is called He's called Accountability for All, and he's another one of these Frauditors. I believe he's located in Boston. Now let's just take a look at this one video, which is so obvious with him. If you can't see what they're trying to do here,
started coming out crazy out the side of his mouth, talking all sorts of shit.
Now let's just take a look at what they're trying to do here. You can quickly pick up on what they're trying to do. If you think this is some real, legitimate interaction, you're a little bit naive. It's all done to make it look as if the cop is handling this with dignity, and this guy's being extremely obnoxious and abrasive, while he says he's standing up for rights and accountability. Nothing could be further from the truth. This guy's just another Mason who's staging this event to make the police look like they are, really there to serve and protect.
So, gonna see
This is what they always do. They always bring out these fake people and present them as their enemies and their opposition to make their opposition, the real people who oppose them and their crimes, seem crazy and unbalanced. This is a prime example right here. Let's take a look.
Has just as big of a mouth and that did a couple minutes ago.
So he claims he encountered this cop before, and the cop said something to him. So he approaches him at this bar, and this guy's of course got this Frauditor channel with 180K subscribers. Surprise, surprise, because all of these frauds get heavily propped up because the whole purpose is to protect the corrupt, drug trafficking Masonic police and make it. Okay, so this Frauditor who has 180K subscribers, so many of them have these huge subscriber bases that suddenly blow up for posting these contrived fake interactions that they stage with the police. Now, some of the interactions seem more legit than others. There are some that seem real, but rest assured they can stage all of this. And it's all about making the people who want to expose police corruption seem unbalanced, unstable, unhinged, abrasive, obnoxious. So these are just people who are playing roles, and many of them are Masons, just like the police officers in their videos. And like so much of what you see around you now, it's all being set up like a massive acting skit. And that's a lot of what you see on YouTube. Most of the stuff you see with police interactions on YouTube is staged and contrived to cover up the real police corruption. And it's all about making the people who are supposed to expose them seem stupid and obnoxious. This guy's a prime example. You can quickly pick up on what they're doing here.
You have to say to me a couple of minutes ago, what you called me? You fucking moron, is that it? Now it's...
So he approaches the cop, and look at how the cop handles this. The cop handles it with dignity. He doesn't get pissed off with the guy or anything. He's very quiet, while the guy continually, acts abrasive, shouts at him, insults him, and conducts himself like a child and a moron. That's who these police frauditors are. But it's all an act, and they're paid to do this, and they work in coordination with the police. So let's watch.
Setting in, bro. What's your name, bud? What's your name? What's your badge number? 286. Kick it in. Oh, right. So do you regret the use of language that you used a couple minutes ago, calling me a fucking moron? Right. So now one of the largest civil rights activists in the United States puts a camera on you. You don't have such a big mouth anymore, do you? I'm gonna have a great night. On this public sidewalk, I'm gonna be hanging out with you. Perfect. Asshole. Perfect. Have a good night. Well, I already have a bunch of people in here, so why don't you explain to them what happened? I was trying to pull out into traffic. I didn't want to hit a car. You got mouthy, you got tough. Right? You didn't realize who you're talking to. Now there's a phone on you, there's a camera on you. Now you're not as tough anymore. Now your balls shrunk right back up in your ass, right? I'm gonna have a great night. Coward. You guys hate me. You put me out of business if you could have the ability to keep your stupid mouth shut. So let's do it now.
The irony of him saying that when he never stops yapping the whole time and just conducts himself like a total moron. This is all by design. It's all an act.
Nothing to say now. Big and tough.
Take note of how the cop handles himself completely with dignity. This is all an act, though, and it's just done to make the police look good.
5 minutes ago, you know,
all these people, and to take the heat off them for the real corruption that they're involved with right now.
People here.
This is one of his fellow Masons, this obnoxious fool. These people work together, rest assured.
Thought you're gonna bully me around, and it's like, what's the chances that you're gonna fuck around with a YouTuber that's got a huge audience who exposes piece of shit cops like you? What was the chances of that in your mind, huh? What you doing here today? You working a detail, huh? So you're getting paid extra money on the side to talk shit to people. Let me ask you a question. What do you think the chances are that an even bigger YouTuber is here that wants to see what a big asshole you are today? You didn't know who I was, right? And now I'm out of the car, now I got my phone, and now you know who I am, and your stupid mouth isn't moving, and it isn't. What a coward. How many black eyes your wife got? 1 or 2? Are you married? Did she divorce you for beating her? What's up with you, bro? This is America. This is what it's come to. Cowards like you. They give a badge to anybody. We got 2 brain cells. They're fighting each other right now. Like, are you fighting to not tase me? I resist. It's crazy. Crazy. 5 minutes ago, I was, excuse me, buddies. Go ahead, sir. I'm recording this dirty cop here. You want to get in on it?
Now take note of how obvious this is. The cop's just standing there totally dignified, ignoring this harassment and the abuse the guy's, putting out towards him. Anyone who sees this from the outside is going to look at the cop in a positive light and look at this guy as an absolute obnoxious, abrasive moron, which is exactly what they want to convey as the image of people who expose police corruption. So this is all cleverly coordinated, and this is all set up, and it's all about the message that they want to convey. And it's done through intelligence agencies, and it's done to make the corrupt, stalking, drug trafficking police seem like they're good people and they're dignified. And again, this guy's just one of his fellow Masons putting on an acting skit along with him to make people who expose police corruption seem unhinged. Very, very clear example. If you think this is real, you're a little bit slow. The guy is like over the top abrasive and acting like a child. And the cop's just standing there dignified, behaving in the proper way that you would, just letting it go and not reacting to it.
It is St. Patty's Day. Maybe this cop was just drunk when he saw that he was going to talk to me that way. Imagine that. Imagine that. I can see his pores right now. They're pissing almost as much as his vagina is. What's up, man? And my friends here appreciate it. We thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, they don't. Yeah. Mind my own business. Yeah, thank him for his service. Thank him for his service. He's very brave. Thank you, Officer Howell, for your service today. Yeah. Let's hang out with him here.
Again, take note of how the cop's handling it. Totally dignified, and the guy's like following him around and just totally being an obnoxious, abrasive, childish moron. This is the image they want to put out about people who expose police corruption. Nothing could be further than the truth and from the truth in reality, but this is what they always do. They always try to portray people who are attempting to expose corruption as imbeciles like this guy. And he works along with them. He's just a Mason playing an acting role, this guy. Rest assured.
Be kind, rewind, make sure you recycle. Alright, good. Good, we put it in the right thing there. I want to make sure that we keep the ozone safe and the fishies and the bunny rabbits good. Are we good to go? We 10-8? What do we got going on today? So, you're an innocent bystander. Do you think this fine officer's learned his lesson yet?
Okay, so you get the point here with that one. That's very blatantly obvious what it's very blatantly obvious what they're trying to do with that. No question. They're trying to convey this image that the person who exposes police corruption and is supposedly for accountability, transparency, and freedom just conducts himself like an obnoxious moron, while the Masonic cop stands there dignified, doesn't react to it, and handles things the right way. So that's what they're trying to convey with that. Now let's take a look at some other examples here, just to show what these people do. So another thing that they'll do, they'll have these auditors / frauditors do, is go into public places and just stand outside, sometimes stand outside, restaurants, places where there are people, conducting business, and just film random people going in and out of the places. And this is all done, they're claiming that it's done to protect people's rights to film in public, but in reality, it's done because they know the reaction that they're going to get. It's going to be 50-50. There are going to be some people who support these people because in reality they do have a right to film in public, but they're also doing this in a way that there are going to be enough people reacting to it by saying, this is just stupid, obnoxious, and you're doing it intentionally to push people's buttons. And do you have a right to do it? Yeah, like there's a lot of things that you have a right to do, but just you wouldn't do out of basic common sense. Like, you have a right to go into a fancy upscale restaurant and belch continually. But most people, anyone with common sense, wouldn't do that. You have the right to do it, but it doesn't mean that it's the proper thing to do, right? So that's what they do with this. It's tricky because they try to show situations where they're not breaking the law, and they have a right to do it, but they're also intentionally doing things that are obnoxious, that are going to irritate people. So it's very clever, and I think the end goal, in my opinion, is to use these people as examples so that they can eventually cut off people's ability to film in public places, and certainly to stop people from being able to film the police. So they're going to have them continually do these things, act really, really obnoxious, until there comes a point where they'll have some fake event involving one or some of these people, and they'll say, well, now because of the behavior of this person, you can no longer film the police in public or something like that. So it's all, while they're claiming to be standing up for people's rights and to be standing up against police corruption, like so many other things, this is just the occult, Masonic occult inversion. What they're really doing is working in coordination with the people who want to remove people's rights. But it's very sophisticated, and you have to look at it from a deeper level. So let's just take a look at more of what these people do.
10 o'clock, so in between.
So he's standing out here.
Oh no, probably in the parking lot, my friend.
Fast forward a bit here. This is this character called First Amendment Rights. He's in the U.S. So he's standing outside of a surgical center, filming people as they come out. Really sensible thing to do, right? I mean, really normal thing to do. Now, does he have the right to do it? Yeah. But would he go into a fancy restaurant, an upscale restaurant, and start continually belching loudly? I mean, yeah, you have the right to do that, but anyone with common sense wouldn't do that. So that's the whole thing that they try to put out with these frauditors. They know that the reaction is going to be divided 50-50 right down the middle, and it's going to cause a split, which is what they always want to do, is to create this divide and conquer. 50% of the people agree with them, 50% support the other people who think that these are just obnoxious idiots. But what they don't know, what most of them don't know, is that they're actually funded to do this. Many of them are Masons, and it's all just staged, and it's done in reality to take away rights, but it's gradual. But they're moving towards it, and they're going to use the behavior of these idiots as an excuse to limit people's ability to film in public and eventually to film the police. I believe. That's my opinion. So we'll see what happens.
What? Why do you think you're the center of attention?
Oh. Okay.
Now you can see what happened too. So he's standing at the edge of the parking lot of a surgeon place, and she's driving out, and she just says, "Why are you taking pictures of me?" And then he responds smugly and sarcastically by saying, "Why do you think you're the center of attention?" This is all set up to make him look obnoxious, and so the people are going to look at him as an obnoxious idiot. But then you're going to have other people who know that he does have a right to do this, and he does have a right to do that. But it doesn't mean that everything you have a right to do, you should go ahead and do if it's in completely bad taste. Like standing there filming everyone who goes by when they come out of a restaurant or something like this. So again, they know the effect it's going to have. The intelligence agencies know the effect this is going to have. The public are going to be divided and split right down the middle on their opinions. And what most of them don't know is that these people are coordinating this. It's all coordinated. Not this person here. This is just a random pedestrian. But this guy is more than likely a Mason. And again, they coordinate these things also with law enforcement. And it's all done to gradually, slowly, incrementally bring reasons forward to remove people's rights to film in public.
I'm sick now.
So these people are not really about what they say they're about. They're actually about the opposite. They're about working to, along with the powers that be, to try and limit people's rights to film in public. It's all inversion. That's why they conduct themselves like total morons and do things like this. I haven't seen this one before, but I've looked at a bunch of these videos from these idiots and have seen enough of them to come to the conclusion and understand exactly what they're really about. And they're not about what they say they're about. That's for damn sure. They're about acting foolish and obnoxious to make the police look like they're handling things properly. And they're also about acting foolish and obnoxious so that they can eventually enact laws to restrict, at least to some extent, people's rights to film in public and to film the police. That's what it's all about. And yeah, it's all coordinated.
Interesting. I got the one finger salute there. Very intelligent.
Yeah, equally intelligent, standing at the edge of a parking lot and filming every person as they go out, holding up a camera towards them. That's really intelligent too, isn't it? He expects people are just going to be happy about that, and it's just absurd. And these people are intentionally acting like fools, and it's all by design.
I'm closing the building.
Okay, that's fine.
This guy's another absolute moron here. Well, he's not a moron. This guy's another Freemason fraud here. Long Island audit. They sent him into all these places to basically, well, police stations as well as places where people are renewing their driver's licenses and things like that, to film the areas and to intentionally antagonize people and whatnot. And then he says he's doing it to protect people's rights, when in reality, he's doing it in coordination with these other people in this large fraudulent community, mostly of Masons, of police frauditors, who work together to do these things and act overly obnoxious, and then do these things to try and antagonize, provoke. And then what happens is eventually, over time, they're going to have one of these people or some of them do something that goes over the top, maybe act violent or something, and then they're going to use that as a justification to shut down people's ability to film the police in certain areas, whether it be, whether that's in the United States, in Canada, or various different areas, wherever these frauditors are, because they're all around. Of course, just like Masonry, it is a worldwide organization, and they have these frauditor communities all around as well. And you can tell these are fake organizations by how many people are involved in them. Anything like that if it was grassroots and legitimate, would get infiltrated. People who know what's going on today know exactly what I mean, just like the fake targeted individual communities. Exactly the same thing with these frauditor communities. There's no way those are legitimate with the amount of people that they have in them. And if they were legitimate with that many people, then you would see legitimate change to this corruption. And we don't see anything. It just gets worse. So if they really had all those people who were actually standing up for people's rights, and these people weren't just actors and Masons posing in these roles, then we would see legitimate change with that many people. They would have no choice but to, change things. But we don't see that. We just see things getting worse. That is because these people work in coordination with the corrupt police, the Masonic police. And another thing that you'll notice about these frauditors is I don't see any of them at all. Not one that I've seen, at least, unless I'm missing something. I haven't seen one of them confront the police and speak about the most obvious conflict of interest there is. And that is that the vows that they take to Freemasonry completely go against their vows to serve and protect. You cannot have both. You either serve Freemasonry with those vows that come above all else when you're a Mason, or you serve and protect the public. Those vows that they take to Masonry come into direct conflict with their vows to serve and protect. Yet these people, these frauditors, who claim to be all about exposing corruption within the police, accountability and all this stuff, accountability for all, they're not really about that. Otherwise, they'd speak on that most obvious point, because it is admitted that many people within the police are Freemasons, and the vows that they take to Masonry contradict their vows to serve and protect the public, because Masonry comes first before anything with those vows that they take. And they also have taken in those vows, they have agreed to always protect their fellow Masons, even if it means lying. So you can't have someone in a position like that, a public service position, who's supposed to serve and protect, who has also taken a vow that they have to honor, in which they would lie to protect their fellow Masons and fellow Masonic officers, right? You can't have that. That contradicts and goes against the vows that they have taken to serve the public, and you cannot have a public servant in general who has taken such vows in a position and claiming to legitimately serve the public. It's ridiculous, and it's contradictory, and these people never ever call them out about that. So what does that tell you? Well, we've already established that some of them, clearly proof that some of these frauditors are Freemasons, and these frauditor communities are completely set up and fake, but it's much more sophisticated than a lot more people know. It is the direct inversion of what they say they're about. They're really not about accountability. They're really not about protecting people's rights. They're really about doing really obnoxious things and behaving like idiots and making the police look like they're handling things in a professional manner. And then eventually what they're going to do is, this is all coordinated with the media as well, they're going to use this as an excuse to gradually and incrementally cut off people's rights to film the police and to film in public. So that real people who are being targeted by the police, the real people, the real targets, are not going to be able to do that. They're going to take that right away, and they're going to use these people who they control to justify doing that. Now, another thing you never, ever see these frauditors doing is coming forth to help real targeted individuals, real people who have been put on watch lists. It's provable beyond any doubt that this is happening. These organizations like CSIS even admit they're doing this. And these frauditors would have to be pretty stupid to not know those things are happening. Yet they never ever show up in their numbers to groups to help those people who are being targeted by the police, who have been put on watch lists. Why is that? Well, because they're controlled and they work with the police, and most of them are Masons. I'm going to do more videos on this and follow up on this later. This is just part 1 for now.